Ultimate Communication Guide, from basics to more advanced stuff. We'll start off with how to actually remember the most important calls in a very short time. Then we'll talk about how to quickly make short and very precise calls if you're in a squad of 2+ and more. Timestamps are available if you wish to skip the very basics. What are the most important calls? Stairs. You need to know the name of all the stairs, how to remember them. They are usually called by its color, such as yellow stairs on consulate, green stairs on canal because of the wall colors, red stairs on villa because of the red carpet, blue stairs on the bank, etc. Stair can also be named based on the room next to it, such as the blue stairs on the bank can be called server stairs because the room below is called servers, or visa stairs on the consulate. The issue over here will be, do visa stairs mean top or the bottom? Calling it visa top stairs and visa bottom stairs will be okay. Or you can call one admin stairs, there's a huge admin about visa, and call the bottom ones archives, as archives is the room below the visa. Even if these calls are not probably what you will hear in your gameplay, because you will more likely hear just visa stairs for both, everyone should and will understand where admin stairs are, as well as where archives are. Everyone that knows the map. There are also CC and cache stairs on the clubhouse. Some people like to call it red stairs due to the red bricks. Stairs can also be called depending on their shape. If they're circular, you call it banana or spiral stairs, like the consulate ones. You will still end up in an issue because there are two spiral stairs or two banana stairs, so calling it spiral top and spiral bottom or banana top banana bottom will be okay. Main stairs are usually stairs where the lobby or the main entrance is, so it is in the category of the room next. Finally, and this callout will work for every single time, call stairs and direction, such as E stairs and border. So these will be the tips how to remember very quickly the name of the stairs. All what you have to do is think what is around the staircases and you have got the call. No need to study them. Now you will need to know calls for the hot area such as CCTV or simply CC, office or waiting room, open area, heaven on border. So how to remember these calls? It's actually very simple. If there is a huge gap on the roof, such as skylight or simply a gap, like it is in the border, you can call it heaven. Due to it being open, you can also call it open area. Waiting is the Ubisoft call, and that is also okay, because when you actually see what is in the room, there are loads of chairs and places for folks to wait. Hence, waiting room. Office call is usually when there are loads of computers in that area, desks as well. For that reason, even if it is called the open area on the bank, many people call it offices, simply due to the number of computers on the desks. Now, when we are talking about the CCTVs, all that you have to have in mind is that bunch of TVs, just like on the bank, border, or coastline. These are general calls. Whenever you see similar patterns of gaps, computers, TVs, or even lockers like on the border, you cannot call it always the same, even if Ubisoft calls are different. Also very similar to the stairs, if there is a color in the room, call it by its color, like red in the bank. If there is something specific in the room, such as flag on the consulate, reception desk, call it flag. Is there a piano in the room? Call it in the piano. All in all, this is the similar as with the stairs. In order to know the code, all that you need to know is to think what is inside of the room. And if you really cannot, say someone is in the room next to something that you can describe. I forgot to mention, the call connector is a room that connects two objectives, such as it will be this room in between meeting and console on the consulate. Okay, basic stuff ends here. Let's talk about making calls as short as possible. When you're communicating, try to communicate the information as quick as possible without unneeding information. For instance, if an attacker is on the top of the rush stairs, let's say Blackbeard, call him now BB, instead of actually saying BB is on the top of the red stairs. Simply say BB dropped red hatch. It doesn't matter if he didn't drop the red hatch or whatever, the call here is that he's on the top of the red stairs. And that's the same call as if he dropped down. It is very important to have as short a call as possible because in any already stacked team you will always be receiving new gathered information. Also, you have probably seen that people start to call CCTV just CC. Or antechamber to anti. on consulate? Well, for the same reason. I have pointed out very important stuff in communication, and that is calling which operator did you see. BB for an example. Not only that the call gives the location of a player, but also what to do in a given situation for the rest of your 4 players. Peek versus not to peek BB, to know risks of peeking. This is even more important. Calling operator names when you're an attacker. Imagine if Jaeger destroyed your drone in the CCTV and you called out that there's a guy in the CC. Now also imagine that Vigil was killed also in CC after your call, and here comes the issue. Can you assume that CC is clear? Nope, not at all. But do you know if someone is still there? Nope, you don't know if someone is still there. You will have to drone that area again. On the other hand, if you have said that Jaeger was in the CC, the other answer will be positive. You and your team, without droning further, will know that Jaeger is still in the CC, and you will not need to waste a drone. This also applies to anyone that does the kill. Call out who you killed. You have to say Vigil dead CC, or just Vigil dead. I have also stated a huge thing now, which is when you are communicate universally, so your teammate on the other side of the map can also understand the call. Knowing that Vigil and Jaeger are in the CC means loads of information for the player that might want to solo queue push for the office, or even if you're in a stack. Information where a defender is not only crucial for players trying to push the defender, for example CC now, but also for those that are doing a totally different job. You might think that you're always calling it universally, but you're not. Calls, such as Twitch on your right, is only okay if call for Twitch, but no one else. If Twitch is pushing through the long, on border toward the offices and there is Legion by the triple walls, calling Twitch Legion is on your right will only Twitch understand. A player that might be pushing CC, or even below to do the vertical pressure will not get anything from that call. Calling Twitch Legion is in the office desk will do the job. Notice how office was a huge room, therefore a call such as Twitch Legion is in the office and full stop doesn't help a lot. We'll get onto the ideas of how to smartly split a room when the team comes later on. Sadly, when solo queue, you cannot do a lot about precise calls in a bigger rooms, aside from calling a desk, as we did in the office. In this example, I have purposely said the name of the operator that you are trying to talk to, because that simply is a fact that the person playing behind the Twitch will listen to you more and more clear. This is more important in the following situations, but before that, this all also applies when defending as well, making universal calls. When you're doing something, let your team know what you are doing. Are you going to repel on the piano windows on cafe? Let your team know that you will do that. Will you be droning for the Jackal guy? Let the Jackal guy know that he will be droned out, or that he is being droned out. Maybe he doesn't pay attention as much and he doesn't even realize that he's being droned out. Call out precisely what you're doing, and if you're doing something for your teammate, like as echo droning for your roamers, or knowing due to the yokai drone or overall an intel that Jaeger can do a 90 flank on Villa. Keep in mind that even if Jaeger doesn't want to flank on the 90 on the Villa and he's still roaming, information that nobody is in the 90 can help a lot. That means attackers are somewhere else. Make sure to call that. Obviously, when you stop doing it for your teammate, such as stop the droning for them, or stop watching the camera, or stop watching the flank, or overall an angle, again, let your teammate know that now they're exposed from that additional angle. Many people forget to say, not on the walkie cameras anymore, or I'm not on enemy hedge anymore, on bang, and yet your team is about to set the plan there. Moving away from the enemy catch could be due to the many factors, like being worried about being flanked from the main stairs, or do you want to clear people from the red with the frags, flashes, else from the office hedge, or simply you started to watch the flank drones. Let's take an example of coastline. You're Zofia that had left a drone in the toilet watching lobby. You knew 20 seconds ago that their last guy was in the square, and you're pushing in the service to plant. Now, if there is no call that a defender destroying the drone in the toilet, you can assume that the defender will be located in the service or somewhere else, and you just get picked up from the toilet. And why is that? Because your team didn't call out that the drone was shut down 20 seconds ago. Before building up squad communication, let's talk about lying in the communication on purpose. And yeah, we'll be lying to our teammates. I have already touched that topic in the droning actually. The latest example on Chalet that if you don't know if someone is at the library and you can see all the entrances to the library at certain situations, it is advisable to say that library is clear. However, let's go to Reward Oregon, and if you have a drone in the meeting like this, without clearing any further, it is advisable only when in a stack to say that meeting is clear. There is no need to clear further meeting if the strat is not about to clean the whole floor. And why is that? It is because the reason you are saying meeting is clear is that you don't want to be flanked when you are doing a standard west take onto the laundry. Basically, a defender can be on the stage or on the next of these doors, but that doesn't matter. If the defender starts to push you, you will see them on the drone, therefore you will call it. But as long as you won't be screwed over that, it's better to say that meeting is clear, rather than explaining the whole story behind the drone, or even the drone further to see the stage and maybe lose that person's drone. Okay, let's start the team-based topic of the video, which are building up stack communication, and this is more for any stack that are based on pure rank, gameplay and nothing more competitive. The positive thing when playing in a stack is that you and your team can give even more precise calls. Do you remember the office part? Basically the trick here is to always check where the north in the compass is. Check it during the preparation phase, and then, according to the north, divide the room by 4 or 9 parts, from 1, 2, 3 and so on to 9, depending on how precise calls you want to make. Let's divide office by 9, and here what it will look like from the left to the right. Basically, if you now call office on 9, that means the defender is by the triple walls. If you call office on 1, the defender is by the rotation between arcade and office. If you remember, we have called 8 and 9 the desk in the very beginning. However, now we are even more detailed. So to do these calls, make sure to decide if you want to split a room in 9 or 4 in the very beginning. And just check the compass at the start of the round, and you already know all the locations on all the rooms. This works even for the hallways. If there are longer ones, call it on 1 or on 2. You could get an issue if the room size is not big enough, like break room in the office. I mean, you still could it divided by 9, but it will be, well, small parts. But then again, it should be a common sense that to split smaller rooms immediately by 4 or even by 2. So calling break on 4 should always mean behind the half wall. Something before the last thing, common call that I really have to mention here. 90, which stands for corner of any hallway that has a 90 angle, like on the borders example by CC, or coastline example by VIP. Zulu will be a Z-shaped hallway, and on the coastline it will be a luggage hallway. You can see the Z shape here. Or on Oregon, by the Vaid stairs all the way to the lobby. There are a few more common calls such as paper, when there are many papers on the floor, such as on the copy room in the consulate. But this again means if you see something very distinct in the room, call it by that. As if the room has a flag, as we have already stated, call it flag. Or if there is a long desk, call it long desk. Obviously, if you zap doc with a Twitch drone, call immediately and type in the chat doc99. Everyone has to know that you zap the doc, and only doc. That is an unwritten rule as a Twitch. No joke. And why are communications so important? Communication is the key to get the frags, to win the round. For instance, everyone in the Pro League is a godlike in mechanic skills, but one is, quote-unquote, better than the other one due to the information they have gathered from their supports. You literally can win the round based on the information and just an average mechanical skills, even works in the diamond. As with an average gun skills and extremely good communication, you won't need to flick anyone. All what you will have to do is pre-fire or spray, and that is what an average person actually can do. Thank all the patrons and YouTube members that made this video available. Thank you for staying with me for this long. If you wish to know all the ins and outs of the game, make sure to give me a like, subscribe and ring notification bell. Let me know down in the comment section if you have any feedback or any question. With this being said, peace out.